his leg doesn't go across Ronaldo. It doesn't interfere with him. He pokes the ball away from Ronaldo's run there. Then Ronaldo thinks,
Can we be specific? Who are we blaming? The ref for giving it, or VAR for not offering the chance to go and view it again?
VAR for me.
yeah, you can't blame the ref. He can only give what he thinks he sees right there. Full speed, one look at it. From behind, not the best angle. And that was part of the reason that we were told VAR was coming in, because the referee doesn't have the best angles all the time. That was a classic example. When you're looking at players for their backs, you don't know what's going on ahead of that. So VAR should have said...
See, I've never known what constitutes clear and obvious, but that to me was a clear and obvious mistake. Yeah. Was it for you guys?
Yeah, absolutely for me. And I agree with Andy. Like, these players now, they're so fast and they're so quick. It's very difficult for referees to stay up with the play and actually see this. As I said, we're in the studio here, so we've got the privilege of seeing it from different angles. But
so is
as
VAR.
Andy said, that's what I'm saying. VAR comes in. It takes what, 5 to 10 seconds. Speak to the referee. No penalty.
Well, they must have looked at it, I imagine. I mean, I think John Rhoda was saying in commentary that he didn't get any indication that there was a review, but surely there has to be.
Must have looked at it.
You could see the players asking him to go and look at it, or at least check it on VAR. I think that's a frustrating thing for players while we're in such a big competition with the whole world watching. If there's a time to really go and use it and facilitate what we've got in play, go and use it.
See, I don't think we do that enough with VAR. If there are changes to be made, then things like that, when the referee we know doesn't get the best view of it, just help him by saying to him, listen, you might not change your mind, but go and have a look at these angles, because you might change your mind.
They're causing their own problems.
Do you think that referees are offered the opportunity to change their mind, or do you think that when they are, and Mike Riley used the phrase the other night, told, which interested me, but he then corrected himself quite quickly and said, invited. Do you think that when referees are told to go to the monitor, they're also told what decision they're going to give?
Well, I know what you think, and you've voiced it regularly on the Premier League that we do, that you feel that once they go to the monitor, they're being told by VAR what decision to make. I'd like to think in a tournament like this, when they're invited to go to the monitor, they still make up their own minds. I'd like to think so, but I don't know.
I think Mike Dean will look at that and he'll think that's a penalty.
What?
Really?
Yeah, I think that's the worry. I think the referees would look at that and go, that's a penalty. I might be wrong.
Even seeing all the angles?
Even seeing all the angles, wow. I think he will say that's a penalty.
You see, the one thing, the major change for me, I know that you're clear and obvious is a nonsense, really, but I want to hear the conversation between the referee and base when they go to the monitor. And then we'll know, Andy, whether they're being told to make a decision or not. And I think as punters, we're owed that.
Not just us.
I'm saying fans. Yes.
Will it ever happen though?
I might seem to think other night it will. I think it will. Arsene Wenger's a big fan, and we know he's technical director. I think
it is a bit like dragging and kicking to resist it for some reason, aren't they? But I think it'll come through in the end.
But when you've got the VAR there, take the opportunity, use it properly. Like, that wasn't used properly today, and that's why everybody gets annoyed. The fans get annoyed. Us as pundits, we get annoyed because it's there. Just go and have a look. The people in VAR, speak to the referee and say, listen, it's definitely not a penalty, because everyone's in that studio. If they really think that's a penalty, well, I think we've got a problem going forward.
They shouldn't be there. Yeah. It was brought in to right wrongs, really, wasn't it?
It was brought in to ensure that correct decisions were made, because I'm trying to remember what one of the architects of it said to me. The stakes are so high these days that we've got to make things better. And his argument was there was one high-profile mistake per game from referees without it. I would argue there's probably 1.5 now with it. But
we shouldn't be talking about it. That's the problem.
No,
we shouldn't be talking about VAR. We should be here talking about 5 goals, really good goals, instead of we're here speaking about a VAR decision for the last 10 minutes where we've seen really good quality goals from players. We shouldn't be here sitting about talking about VAR. We're constantly every game there's a problem with VAR. I'm delighted that we have Mike here, because
it's not going anywhere. That's
I once again would make the point that the nothing wrong with the technology. It's the manner in which it's used, and those that use it.
And we're talking about it because you have to feel for Ghana. They put so much into that game tonight. They were fairly comfortable at 0-0. Didn't look like much was happening, and they get a decision like that go against them. I mean,
we see the frustration from the manager as well after the game, and I think that's what it does. It frustrates people.
Let us pause just for a moment to get Gary Neville's thoughts, not so much on the evening, but more on Cristiano Ronaldo.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, 5 World Cups to score is absolutely incredible. But he wants these records. The reason he's carried on playing is for these records. It's why I think while Messi is continuing in the Champions League, while Messi is continuing for Argentina, I think Cristiano carries on as well. I don't think he lets up. I think they keep going. But he's a brilliant player. He could have scored 3 tonight. In the first half, he could have had 2. In the second half, he obviously scored a penalty. And then for the last 10 minutes when he was on the bench, he became the manager.